Ready for your Italian vacation? Picture yourself driving through the rolling Tuscan hills or along that stunning coastline in Puglia. But before you hit the open road, you better know the secrets and pitfalls. Driving in Italy is like jumping into the deep end of a pool. You just gotta take the plunge. But before you dive in, it's important to master a few strokes to stay afloat. I've been driving these Italian roads for 20 years, Italian license and all. And today, you and I are navigating these Italian roads, and I'll be guiding you through the key essentials and most importantly, what you should never do when driving in Italy. Andiamo. Hold on, stick with me because coming up, I have an important tip for you, something that you don't want to forget when you're getting on the highway that could cost you a lot of money if you do forget. But one thing you should never do in Italy is never drive without your driver's license ID and also your car documents. Always carry your rental car agreement if you're renting a car and the car registration documents, again, along with your driver's license. Because the Italian police, they set up checkpoints out there on the open roads, and if they stop you and you don't have these important documents, you'll get a hefty fine. Never assume you'll be driving an automatic transmission car in Italy. Stick shifts, manual transmissions are as common as pizza and pasta in Italy. So what I recommend, if you want a manual transmission car, you want to feel the gears changing as you're zipping around the country lanes, great, don't worry about it. When you're hiring a car, you'll see the automatic transmission or the manual transmission options. If you don't know how to drive a manual transmission, make sure you select automatic transmission when you're hiring a car. Now, you're gonna have to pay extra for that, but it could be worth it, and it could be make or break on your vacation. Roundabout! Okay. Never hesitate at roundabouts. In Italy, roundabouts are like a gladiator arena. If you hesitate, you're out. And by this I mean, be attentive, but also be decisive when you're entering and exiting a roundabout. You want to go into it with force, look around, check out your surroundings, and when you're ready to get out of the roundabout, exit. Put on your blinker, be on the safe side, but get out. On the roundabouts, just be aware when you're heading into them, look for other cars that are already in the roundabout and wait your turn. But in Italy, it's all about being forceful, so you have to kind of force your way into the roundabout or you're never going to get into it. You gotta love the lawlessness of parking in Italy. This is how you do it, Italian style parking. Don't worry about all the rules. Never stress on parking in Italy. You want to try to get it perfect, but as we learn in life in Italy, nothing's ever perfect. Thing I learned about Italy is there's rarely a police officer around to give you a ticket or to say you've done right or wrong. Just be quick about it, and we're going to hop into this bar right here and get a coffee real quick. So it's a temporary parking spot. Cappuccino. Grazie.
Grazie a voi.
And like a good Italian, he'll take his coffee, keeping an eye on the car the whole time. We're safe. Never drink while driving. It goes without saying, but you don't want to drink while you're driving. It's highly illegal. And also, don't smoke and drive. Although you're going to see the locals doing it everywhere, it seems very Italian. Focus on the road and keep the air fresh. Never expect wide roads. As you can see, these are narrow out in the countryside, and you're going to find that in the little villages and towns you wander through when you're out exploring Italy. So be prepared to yield to oncoming traffic so each car can squeeze by each other and you both can get to your destination. If you need info on renting a car, stick with me. We'll get to that later on in the video. Also, I haven't forgotten about that costly mistake that you could possibly make when getting on a highway, so stay tuned. Never drive with fear. Italians can sense it when you're driving on the roads with fear. They have their own GPS here. Forget Google Maps. Their GPS, well, it's guess, pray, and squeeze. When you're driving in Italy, it's all about offensive, not defensive, offensive driving, driving with confidence and not being timid and fearful when you're out on the roads, because they can sense that, and if they sense that, they'll swallow you up and spit you out. It's kind of the same approach as you would have to going into a roundabout. Go into it with confidence, be aware of the rules and your surroundings, but also be aware of the unwritten rules. Yeah, no, I should be there by 5 o'clock. No, 5 o'clock. Never talk on your phone while driving. It's a big distraction and against the law in Italy. If they catch you do it, they're gonna fine you. Never ignore crosswalks. A lot of Italian drivers drive right through them, but don't be the same. You can get into a lot of trouble. Now remember I said I'd explain later in the video how to avoid a costly mistake when getting onto a highway? Well, that is getting a ticket when you get through the toll booth. Never forget to get the ticket going through the toll booth to get on the highway, what we call here the autostrada. And even if you get your ticket, don't lose it in the car, misplace it, because again, you'll have to pay full fare when you're trying to get off the highway because they don't know where you came from. My pro tip to you, right up here underneath the visor, there's a clip. You put your ticket, you set it, you forget it.
Introdurre il denaro o avvicinare la carta al lettore o prego attendere, validazione carta in corso.
These machines are old school style, but they do have the contactless card reader. You can get a receipt if you need it, and
ritirare lo scontrino.
Ritirare lo scontrino. Take your ticket, your receipt, and you're on your way. Speaking of tickets, never forget to validate your parking ticket when you're in a parking garage before leaving. A lot of parking garages here in Italy require that you get the stamp on the ticket before you drive out. If you forget, you're gonna have to run back up to the machine before you can exit. And the machines, well, you can find them near the entrances of the parking garage or where the elevator is. In Italy, the parking spots, well, they're color-coded. White is your go-to. These white lines right here, well, that means free parking, but always check the signs at the beginning or at the ends of the roads. The yellow lines, well, that's gonna be for disabled parking, so you wanna avoid that parking. Look out for the white lines, that's your free parking, but it can also be residential parking. So look at the signs, also ask some Italians around and ask for their help on if you can park there or not. Go for the blue ones, you're gonna have to pay money, but there you know for sure you can park there, but just whip out your card or your change to pay. And look at this one right here, all sorts of rules. This one says the third Friday of every month. You can't park here from 9:30 to 12 o'clock because they have street cleaning, so be aware of your surroundings. Later on, I'm gonna get to something that most tourists don't even think about until they're stuck at a gas station, and don't let it happen to you. Let's talk about ZTLs. These are limited traffic zones, and they're not just traffic restriction zones. Well, they're a ticket to a surprise in your mailbox months later when you're home from your vacation, so don't let it happen to you. ZTL, that means Zona Traffica Limitata, a limited traffic zone, and if you drive into those, they'll catch you with the camera up there, they'll get your license plate, and they'll send you a ticket in your mailbox months later. They'll get your address from the car rental company, and you're gonna have to pay a couple of different fines, both from the rental company and from the Italian state. So how do you avoid this? Well, when you're driving into an area and you see that ZTL sign, and they usually have a red light associated with them, if they do, don't drive in those. If they're green, you can drive on in. Now, if your GPS is saying go down that road because you have to get to your hotel, well, don't go. First, call your hotel, find out if it's okay if you drive in there. They usually can clear your plate with the local city, and so you're fine. But just make sure and don't make that same mistake that I've made a few different times. Never ignore road signs when you're driving here in Italy. I suggest to you is brush up on some basics before making your big Italian trip, your vacation to Italy. There are some basic ones here in Europe and in Italy you should be aware of. The circle one that's completely red with the white bar, well, that means do not enter, don't go that direction. Then there's a couple other ones that tell you basically don't stop. They're blue circles. One has a red line going through it. That means prohibited pausing and stopping. You can stop there for a few seconds, unload passengers and stuff, but that's it. The other one, it's a blue circle with a red X, and that means don't stop, don't do anything, don't pass go, just keep driving. Remember when I said you may find yourself stranded at a gas station at night? Well, how to avoid that is don't pay for gas at night or on Sundays. Avoid doing that, because in those hours you may find the credit card machine's not working, or you may find there's not a gas attendant. You're better off to do it during the weekdays or on Saturdays to be safe. I can't tell you how many times I've been stuck at gas stations on a weekend. No one's around, I didn't have any cash on hand, and my card doesn't work in the little machine. Also, never assume the gas stations are self-service. A lot of gas stations in Italy, well, they're full service. You have full service and self-service options. So when you're pulling up, as we saw here, look for the signs that say self, or you'll see fa da te, which means do it yourself. Look for those. Those are the lower priced gas options. But if you want someone to pump your gas, well, pull into the ones that say full. Those are the full service ones, and you get the full royal treatment. If you're liking this video, if you like getting all these sort of insider tips and tricks on driving in Italy, well, hit that thumbs up down below. Also, a lot of you out there haven't yet subscribed, so do me a favor, click that subscribe button down below. That way you're not missing out on any of the upcoming video content. Thank you. Actually, thinking about it there, not only will it say full, but it'll say servito in some places too, to indicate that it's a full service gas station. Oh, che fai? Never lose your cool while driving in Italy. I know we do that sometimes. We get stressed, we start yelling at people. Just don't do it. Driving in Italy is like Mario Kart, where your opponents are the Vespas and your goal is not to get shouted at. Stay calm and just find your inner peace. Sure, you're gonna get honked at, but when you do, right now I got two cars trying to pass me on both, so here comes one on my right. Stay calm and just go with the flow. Now stick with me, I got some phrases for you, some essential phrases you need to know if you're gonna be driving in Italy. 1 minute. Grazie, ciao. Never come to Italy and drive without knowing a few basic phrases. It helps to have an Italian book with your phrases in there. Now, I don't expect you're gonna come to Italy speaking Italian like you're Dante or something, no, but just know a few different phrases like sinistra, destra, that means left, right, dritto. I've written down a few on my phone that I think will be handy for you if you're driving here in Italy. So we have destra, which means right, sinistra, which means left, dove, where, dritto, that means go straight ahead, uscita, that means the exit, like exit off a highway, uscita. Then we have attenzione, attenzione, that means caution, parcheggio, you'll see that a lot, that means parking, divieto di accesso, no entry. Strada chiusa, road closed. And here's an important one. If someone's giving you directions, alla rotonda la terza uscita, alla rotonda la prima uscita. So at the roundabout, the third exit, alla rotonda la terza uscita. At the roundabout, the first exit, alla rotonda la prima uscita. Autostrada or strada statale, that means the toll road, the autostrada, or strada statale, well, those are the fast highways, but you don't have to pay. Mi scusi, dove? Excuse me, where is it? È lontano da qua? Is it far from here? Posso parcheggio qui? May I park here? Or as the final one, grazie per l'aiuto. Thanks for the help. Never underestimate the scooters, the Vespas. They're everywhere in Italy and they're always swarming like a Vespa. They're always swarming all around you. Yeah, Vespa in Italian literally translates to wasp. So that's why they got the name Vespa. It sounds like a buzzing wasp. So the Vespas are everywhere, the scooters, the motorbikes are everywhere. So keep aware when you're changing lanes, look left, right, make sure they're not coming up around you. The last thing you want to do is knock out an Italian on his Vespa. He's going to be yelling at you all sorts of new curse words you've never even heard about in a foreign language you're barely understanding. Look all around you, make sure you're safe before you change lanes, and you're good to go. Now, don't worry, driving in Italy is not that hard. You just got to take the old proverbial jump into the pool and you'll be fine. You'll learn how to swim. And remember I said we talk about renting a car in Italy? Well, it's a lot to fit into this video here, and I made a whole nother video about renting a car, so check it out here. You better know the secrets and pitfalls.